Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only, Ray the Flying Squirrel here, and I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Advance, basically a remake of the original Donkey Kong Country back on the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom. So, last time, we've essentially did manage to fully complete World 5, which appears to be by the forms of Crumb Croc Industries Incorporated, so as a result, luckily though is about the fact that we've only found one of those camera collectibles during the forms of that world, and that's what appears to be on the forms of Poison Pond, and as a result, yeah, we did that no problemo, despite the fact that we did occasionally come across into a lot of lag here and there. But luckily, I somehow managed to fix that lag problem again. So today, for this video, is about the fact that we're going to be moving on to the 6th world, known as Chimp Caverns. And this is without doubt the hardest world in the game by far, mainly due to the forms of some very difficult platforming segments here and there. So as a result, about the fact that, well, wish me luck, I guess, especially concerning it that, well, luckily we did actually get ourselves a lot of extra lives to our disposal, so we don't have to necessarily try to able to worry about getting the game over for the sake of convenience. So, anyways though, so let's go and get into it with the forms of, this particular level right there, where basically though is about the fact that all we have to do is basically we need to keep on collecting those fuel barrels to able to keep this platform alive, because once the light is all out, basically though, the platform decides to fall through the actual railings, and as a result, you come across into a death. So, yeah, it's definitely a little bit difficult though, especially concerning about the particular point that, this level is basically, it's like the spiritual sequel to the forms of, Trick, as far as I'm concerned, except this time around though is about the fact that we have to utilize to able to keep on collecting those fuel barrels and all that stuff, like I said before. So, yeah, there's not much else to say about it. Well, luckily though, about the fact that in Junior forms have been, Chimp Caverns, this is without a doubt is the, one of the quicker worlds to able to actually complete so far. Well, despite the fact that it will be still tremendously be difficult during that specific time, but relatively speaking, I was about the fact that this is actually the final world able to actually featuring the forms of, not only bonus areas we can able to find, but also every single Kong letters that we can able to obtain. So, and exponentially speaking though, is that obviously, unlike the Game Boy Color version, it obviously does manage to feature the additional level, which appears to be, Necky Nutmare, at least as far as I'm concerned. So, even then, no, because chances are, though, is about the fact that, well, at least specifically on the Game Boy Color version of Donkey Kong Country on, Chimp Caverns, that you do come across into 6, platforming levels as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, as a result, there's not much else to able to write to home about when it comes to the forms of, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, a few things I want to explain for this point today, and that's what appears to be about the fact that today's date, of course, is the 30th of August today, in some cases though, in 2023. So as a result, recently today marks today's release of the forms of the long-awaited DLC for Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and that's what appears to be, of course, Rayman in the Phantom Show. Unfortunately, I've not exactly experienced that particular DLC yet, but hopefully I'll let Tiana be able to mention more about it when she's about to be able to finishing up completely for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, presumably speaking. So, anyways, Tanked Up Trouble is the level I need to go back into right there, because I somehow missed the only bonus area on this particular stage. And I think, relatively speaking, it's not too far, because I see there is actually a little bit of a sprite of the barrel right there, which actually signifies there's a bonus area right there. So, at least luckily, we've actually got all of the Kong letters now, so at the very least, we don't need to necessarily try to worry about going for the entire stage again. But, relatively speaking, though, I somehow suck at the forms of that particular memorization, shovelized thing right there, because, you know, we still play on the emulator, so as a result, that expecting that the actual sprites limitations just feels a bit, well, weird at points. So, anyways, let's save our game here, and hit on to the next level, which is Manic Mincers. So, basically though, it does manage to feature some of those familiar, blade-like or this little sword wheel objects, as far as you can definitely saw. The last time we actually see these things was actually back in Junior forms within Poison Pond. So, except now that we can able to actually walk on foot instead of like doing some bit of swimming involved. In addition to that, Rampy was there. So relatively speaking though, speaking of Rampy though, unfortunately this will be the last time we're going to be seeing him, but it wasn't until whenever we get around onto not only Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, but also during forms within the Game Boy Advance version of Donkey Kong Country 2 as well. So relatively speaking though, that'll be a pretty good opportunity that we can able to actually do both of those games at some point until next year. So even then though, not exactly sure when exactly, but I'm sure we're able to actually point things out whenever we do manage to able to... Oh, we got another camera, sweet. But it does require Rampy in order to able to actually just ram into that particular enemy as you saw. And either way, we stumbled across into the first bonus area, as far as I'm concerned. Although, I'm pretty certain about the fact that I'm pretty sure this level does manage to feature for about 3 bonus areas, if I recall correctly. Well, mind you, it's been about 2 days ago since I actually have last played this for sure, so either way. So yeah, I promise you guys, until in that specific time until tomorrow, that to be honest, she will definitely mention more details about the forms of our first impressions of Rayman in the Phantom Show DLC, enjoying at some point until tomorrow, because as far as I'm concerned, that to be honest, she definitely needs to be able to wrap things up, everything in, you know, Kirby's Return of Dreamlands Deluxe for the, presumably the last thing she'll show off, in addition to some tiny bits of extras here and there. So relatively speaking, I can't believe the entire journey is almost about to end for able to actually finishing up the entire Let's Play itself. So, anyway, so there's the bonus area right there, and as a result, we definitely need to go after the G, because I can definitely tell G was actually in there, so... But then again, though, if you get hit right there, obviously you get kicked out, so... There we go, we got all the con letters at the very least, and I think the last bonus area, it does need to require a TNT barrel right there to able to bust out this wall, and exponentially we did somehow found it, so... Anywho though, there's also another thing I would like to mention about this, and that's what appears to be about the fact that, well, up until this point, and that's what appears to be about the fact that, well, someone sent the actual, one of those community posts earlier, that's what appears to be about the fact that, well, better late than never, I suppose, which I know it seems kind of random for saying this, but relatively speaking, it's about the fact that there's a film called, Super Buddies, where basically it involves around like talking dogs and all that stuff, which actually does like quite a number of things. But as a result, yeah, that film has now been turned into 10 years old just recently. So because of that though, yeah, as I said before, better late than never I suppose, especially concerning I've got so much distractions to able to discuss upon, but either way though, beggars else can't be choosers I guess. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next level, which appears to be Misty Mine. So as a result, I'm pretty sure this level does feature 2 bonus areas. So I think that could be also applies for any other levels for that matter. So because as a result for that particular matter though, is about the fact that we're getting very close towards the end of the game right now. Although, mind you, we still need to able to try to find some more pictures to able to actually pick up from, or specifically just more cameras in general, because as a result, sometimes it might take a bit of a while to able to actually just to find any of them, assuming of course about the fact that if we try to able to look up on guides, or anything else to be more specific. I know some of them are, but as a result, sometimes it can be pretty well hidden at points, especially noticeable because the phone's the screen's resolution and stuff like that. So, but either way though, I suppose it really doesn't matter to me too much about it. Although speaking of such though, what I've noticed is that every single con letters in this particular level is obviously going to be in one of those bonus areas, because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, basically that is about the fact that we need to do with a lot of emphasis on the actual, like, seeing the actual fog and all that stuff, so everything else will be pretty much expected at that point, so... And if I recall correctly, we had to use the TNT barrel to bust out the wall while trying to avoid the actual crump traps, and especially noticeable with that particular drawn barrel, and that way we're able to actually get yet another bonus area. So either way, I was expecting if I was trying to get myself the random animal buddy token, but like I said before, we've already gone through all of them, especially noticeable that we've already got every single camera items during that specific period. So either way, There's another explanation I should probably explain about this as well. And that's what appears to be about the fact that, well, it seems that it might be somewhat of a bit of a speculation at this point in time that when it comes to the forms of the newest voice actor for Mario, including Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, etc., maybe it might be a possibility that there's this guy called, let's just say, Ben Starr. Basically, though, is about the fact that he did somehow manage to able to tweet on something that he did say my official audition to play Mario, which as a result, it could be a possibility, which as a result, I'm not exactly sure if we're able to actually find things out until now. But either way, though, I'm just trying to able to do a massive guessing for the sake of time. So either way, though. And also, I don't suppose if you noticed, but I apologize for that particular background noise you're going to be hearing from the outside. It's most notably because recently, I believe Blossom and Bubbles, and especially noticeable for Buttercup as well, there are three working on the forms of that particular mowing the lawn. So because of that, though, I apologize for this point, folks. Especially noticeable because concerning that, you know what I'm saying about the fact that we've almost pretty much nearly at the end of summer at this point. I mean, relatively speaking, though, despite I will admit, though, right away, on the UK country anyway, that summer is pretty disappointing to me. Although, don't get me wrong, there are some good parts here and there that me and Mighty obviously do enjoy. And that's what appears to be, of course, the game selection that we always attempt to enjoy, specifically Pikmin 4 in some cases though. So anyway, let's get into the forms of the next and presumably the last Funky's Fishing Challenge. And for this one, we need to build a lot of combos, but here's the catch. You do need to be able to catch that specific colored fish. Like, for instance, we need to be able to catch 2 of those red fishes, and same applies with the forms of the blue fishes here and there as well, and vice versa. So even then though, and as you can tell, that we need to be able to build up the actual timer all the way up to the very top of it, because as a result, if the time runs out, you have to try again. So even then though, yeah, this challenge is a little bit difficult, but honestly, when you're able to try utilize with the control stick, all things considered, then you should deal with this okay enough. So even then though, but for what I've noticed as well, and that's what appears to be about the fact that there's also another the thing, as I mentioned earlier, that if you really want to get that specific special picture, that it does manage to able to require you to able to catch that particular crab down there, which unfortunately though I somehow missed that. So hopefully I'm trying to able to grab that once we get to the true finale of Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Advance. So just to ensure about the fact that we can able to tackle through certain things worth noting for, especially concerning that we'll show off some a lot of extra content here and there as well. Although luckily though about the fact that there is no no penalties or anything else like that if you do manage to able to catch the wrong combination of fishes with all these different colors. But either way though, that must have been said something. So alright, so we've almost done, so either way though, I'm just gonna have to make sure I need to line those fishes up very carefully with all these blue fishes and occasional red fishes and... oh jeez, looks like we're almost there. Alright, come on you. Alright, not doing too bad. Oh, just almost there. And done! Yeah, it does take a bit while to able to actually just get the actual combo streak going, but either way though, regardless of everything else though, we actually accomplished that. And yeah, we actually got ourselves the blue balloon, which obviously we've already maxed out our extra lives department. And let's talk to Cranky Kong for the final time, and as a result, we get ourselves our glorious camera. So even then though, that should be all pretty much be good to go when it comes to able to actually visiting the forms of Cranky's cabin and all that stuff. So yeah. Alright, so now it's going to move on to Loopy Lights. So as a result, Loopy Lights will feature the forms of those special type of barrels that, you know, the lights will go on and off. So yeah, that's exactly what I was thought about any of this. So it's kind of a shame about the fact that Necky Nightmare does not appear on the Game Boy Advance remake, which I was assumed they were trying to kept it from there, but for the most part, it's going to be stuck around on the Game Boy Color remake instead. So I might be alright with this, although despite the fact that I'm not exactly sure I was going to be ready to able to tackle for that version of the game, because the forms of a lot of frustration is involved. So, either way, loopy lights, here we go. And as far as I'm aware, if we go back to the left, we get ourselves another camera. So, yeah, it's pretty easy to miss that for those who have a first time experiencing this. But luckily though, I already know what that's to be expected. So, anyway, so seems no matter what though about the fact that we've almost done with the forms of every single platforming levels in the game, especially concerning about that particular point that, you know, I'm very surprised about the fact that the video's length is actually going to get a lot shorter than I thought I was going to. But I won't spoke about this too much, because obviously once we get to the finale portion, now unlike the forms of how it does it on the Super Nintendo version of this Let's Play, that we were expected able to not only tackle for the forms of Chimp Caverns, but also with the forms of Gangplank Galleon as well, only one in particular video. But I get the strong feeling about the fact that we're not exactly approaching onto the forms of that particular method as far as this is concerned, because obviously we still need to find some more cameras here and there, just to ensure about the fact that we're able to actually start hunting for them, especially concerning about the particular point that I kind of believe by saying this is that we've only got about 2 more days to go now until we move on to September. So even then though, well, as far as I'm concerned about this, it's about the fact that although recently, I don't suppose if you noticed, despite the fact I somehow died from out of nowhere in the dark, but luckily though we got a checkpoint, so at the very least we don't have to necessarily try to worry about trying to go back into the forms of that previous bonus area again to able to actually obtain the K or anything else like that. So, and I have no idea why I somehow lost control of myself there, but that's okay. Anywho though, yeah, because recently though, it's about the fact that, in addition about the fact that during the events have been about a couple of weeks ago, in addition about the fact that we've already managed to pre-order Super Mario Bros. Wonder, recently today, we've already pre-ordered not only 1, but 3 versions of Sonic Superstars. Well, I was expecting for the sake of the forms of the 4th version, which is the PlayStation 5 version, but of course, much like the forms of how it does it on Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Origins Plus, and all that stuff, basically we still don't have the PlayStation 5 with us, so I think 3 versions might be enough for my liking. So even then though, that once again we did somehow pre-order not only the PlayStation 4 version, but also the Xbox One version, including Series X as well, despite we also don't have the Series X either, but luckily it's compatible with Xbox One, so that's all that really matters, and of course the Switch version so I can play the game on the go. So even then though, but despite the fact that I somehow managed able to pay for about 150 quid for able to actually purchase like 3 versions combined, like I couldn't imagine about the fact that if I was trying to also pre-order the PlayStation 5 version, god, that would make a grand total of 200 quid. I mean, that's insane. But either way though, or technically speaking like somewhat more than that, but either way though, like I was thinking about the forms of 210 pounds combined with all the all 4 versions, although if I was also expecting to include the PC version, but despite I'm not exactly a PC gamer as you probably already expect. So anyway, we're pretty much done with loopy lights, and before we tackle through without a doubt the trickiest level in the game, let me double check on the actual progression here. Yep, it's also pretty good. So either way though, let's go ahead and tackle through without a doubt the hardest Candy's dance studio in the entire game, which as a result, yeah, it's ridiculously fast, and as a result you have to put up with a lot of emphasis on perfection timing requirement. And because of that though, most of the time though, it does kind of reminds me of Super Monkey Disco Ball with all that Flash game that I've been on about since 2 days ago. Well, it kind of reminds me of the forms of the level 3 variant of the forms of Super Monkey Disco Ball, that basically though, you have to specifically have to do a perfect timing and what have you, because if you do not make it into a perfect at all, then you have to keep on trying it. So even then though, because most of the time, it just feels a bit too much with all that ridiculous amount of speeds and the button combinations here and there as well. I mean, there are a few occasional moments that I somehow managed able to miss a lot, so oh jeez. But at the very least we somehow made our way to the perfect bit right there. So that way, we pretty much done everything for the sake of Candy Kong's Dawn Studio. So even then, that should be all sorted. And it looks like we're now on to 90% of the game. So it looks like we've only got 11% left until we're basically completely done with everything in Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Advance. So, anyways, Platform Perils, not to be confused as the minigame from Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 2. Well, except the fact that it does not include the S on that particular minigame's title. So, yeah, it's definitely, without doubt, the hardest platforming level in the game. So, even though you pretty much already expect what this is going, so... Anyway, the first bonus area is actually not too hard to find. It's just basically you have to able to go underneath at the start of a level. And from here, all you have to do is basically spell out Kong, and you get yourselves a random animal body token, which as a result, we're going to be able to trigger the actual Espresso bonus area again. So, but either way though, I think I'm also able to go ahead and grind for, well, obviously about the fact that we've already maxed out our extra lives, so it seems kind of pointless. But what's also kind of feels a bit pointless to me though is that I found it was a little bit unacceptable, and that's what it appears to be, that you can't able to actually get out of the bonus areas like this because you have to able to go through the actual bonus areas again. So yeah, it's kind of weird to able to not to include the option to able to actually get out of the actual bonus areas like this. But regardless of everything else though, it's just a way of how the fact that we do need to grind for extra lives or something like that, despite we've already maxed out. So anywho though, there's also another topic I should probably explain about this too, and that's what it appears to be about the fact that there's going to be a new compilation game that's going to be on its way during at some point on the 9th of November this year. That's what appears to be none other than the Double Dragon Collection. So as a result, I think it's going to be only going to be releasing on the Nintendo Switch as of now. I'm not exactly sure if they'll try to able to release that on any other platforms for that matter, but I'm sure that about the fact that we'll point things out at some point in the next couple of days or so. Oh wow, that stupid armadillo just somehow knocked, or potentially just trying to able to, that's actually a pretty, sloppy start. But that's okay though, because obviously we've already got one bonus area, so... Oh, and by the way, to deal with these enemies like these, this one right there, we need to able to keep on tossing the barrel right back at him, so just to ensure that you were able to finish him off, so... And something tells me we need to do this a lot, especially noticeable because, relatively speaking though, that this is where the game gets a lot more tough, so... But at least, exponentially speaking though, is about the fact that we're able to try our best if we could, trying to avoid as many of those enemies as we possibly can! Oh, jeez, that was close. Oh, jeez, alright. Alright, not doing too bad. So yeah, in terms of the forms of the Double Dragon Collection, it is expecting to able to include not only one, but I would say 6 games to be more specifically, which I suppose I should probably able to bring that particular list at some form or another once I was gonna... Oh, really? God, that armadillo enemies is almost gonna get on my nerves. Anyway, so let's go ahead and deliver this barrel somewhere. Oh, jeez. I've noticed there was actually a camera down there, which I do definitely see for about a split second, so... Grab it and jump, and grab an O, and we got the midway point. Despite the fact that we somehow got killed by that particular Zingo, so... That's okay, because we somehow touched the checkpoint first, so at the very least this does count, so... At least it's pretty generous, though. But still, it's ridiculously difficult, though. Oh, dang it! That armadillo just knocked me off the stage! God dang it, man. Alright, let's try this again. I'm telling you, this stage is really difficult, though. Oh, jeez, okay. At least we got an end. Gonna have to keep on jumping onto those B first that we've already gonna be accomplished with. Oh god, I was not expecting I need to switch to Donkey Kong right there, so yeah, I was not expecting that. So anyway, in terms of the game's lineup they're able to actually bring us into for that particular compilation game, they're gonna include Super Double Dragon, Double Dragon Advance, Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, Double Dragon 3, the Secret Stones, and finally Double Dragon 4. So yeah, that's the entire selection. So yeah, at least it's pretty interesting to able to know what specific games they're about to be releasing for. And I'm very surprised about the fact that every now and then we're about to be getting some constant amount of those compilation games for not only on the PlayStation 4, but also on Xbox One and also PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and most notably the Nintendo Switch, because obviously if you want to play those classics on the go, then obviously the Switch will be the good system for you. Especially concerning about that particular point that, you know what I'm saying about the fact that if you, taking a break on certain parts like jobs and all that stuff, then you can obviously continue where you left off on the Switch version, or potentially speaking of if you're having a break. So, even though it's a bit tricky to explain, because I know for a fact it has been about, you know, like I said, it's been 2 days ago since I've last recorded this, so... Anyway though, so let's just go ahead and, oh, I definitely need that G, and we get another camera, which as a result, I think that unlocks the next... Oh, jeez, okay. No! Oh, wait. Okay, at the very least I found the final bonus area in the entire game. Huh. It doesn't take me that long to able to find, all things considered, even though I almost felt a little bit too nervous at points. Now, I'm probably not going to activate the actual animal token right there, because it will force me to go all the way back, right where the checkpoint barrel was, so I'm probably not going to do that. So, but at the very least, what really matters though is that we finally found every single bonus areas in the entire game, so that should be all pretty swell, I might add. Alright, so let's have a look on the actual progression so far, and it looks like, yep, we found everything in every single levels, like, we've got every single bonus areas and all the con letters, so, yeah, and it looks like we're now on to 94%, so, I wonder what specific pictures that we somehow managed to unlock somehow. Well, for this particular enemy right there, like, Crutch or something like that. And I think there was also another photo around here somewhere, which I think it was on page 10, that we've got every single Kong member of families. So as a result, we've got Candy Kong, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Cranky Kong, and Funky Kong. So, yeah, that's all pretty swell. So even then though, now I'm pretty sure on page 13, that will be for the last boss fight. So, at least if I was assuming so anyway. So either way though, so yeah, let's go ahead and save the game again. And focus on the next boss, which appears to be Necky's Revenge. So as a result, we're able to not only stumble across into... Oh, we actually got not only one, but 2 boss fights this time around. So, meaning about the fact that we can able to take on not only Necky Senior or Necka Junior. At least as far as I'm usually recall that. Well, that again, mind you, it's been 2 days ago since I've last recorded this, like I said before. But either way though, yeah, let's just go and beat the likes of that particular Necka on the right. And now we can take on the true... Oh god. Oh jeez, I'm almost gonna get hit right there. But either way, we did somehow manage to dodge that, no problem. Oh yeah, something's worth noting for. Someone sent a comment in down below. Journey Phones have been one of those Super Mario RPG playthroughs at this point. That they did suggest me that I really want to tackle through Pikmin 1. And I say, yes I will, but I need to wait until when the Switch physical version will be able to be its release. So, yeah, at the very least able to make the actual picture a little bit more clearer, and on top of that, just trying to able to actually notice that the load times are a bit more faster. So either way, and there we go folks, Chimp Caverns has completed, so, or has been completed. Well, not necessarily just yet though, just because there are still some cameras I still need to find, regardless of anything else though, so even then though, yeah. So all it needs left now is just about the fact that we can able to stop King K. Rool once and for all, taking place in journey forms of, what else? Gangplank Galleon. So even then though, all it contains is just a final boss and that's pretty much about it. But then again though, we'll have to save that for last, because I was originally trying to able to tackle for that particular world alongside with the forms of Chimp Caverns, but obviously folks, it's about the fact that the game itself is not exactly over yet, so as a result, meaning about the fact that we need to go back onto certain spots in journey forms all throughout the whole game, and because of that though, I think, suffice to say, I think we should probably not only save our game right here, but also we can able to end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Advance remake. That's what appears to be about the fact that not only we can able to find every single camera pictures here and there, but also we can able to finish the entire adventure by able to kick King K. Rool's butt, except this time on the Game Boy Advance. So that should be pretty exciting. So I'll see you guys until on Friday. Later, fellas.